that will destroy us, because we are looking at a temporal benefit, and that's why we make the wrong choices in life. We make the wrong decisions. Imagine someone choosing pornography. Yes, that is a wrong choice. It might look sweet temporarily, yes, but at the end, it has consequences, implications, dangers that will destroy you. So that's that. So be aware of the choices of life that you need to make. Nobody will make a choice for you. Nobody will take that, will make a decision for you. Nobody will choose for you. You have to choose for yourself. So at this point, we move to the next slide. Okay, yes, I've done number 9. I guess this should be number 10. Yes, I've done number 9. So the number 10 now is the genesis of addiction, which is experimental sin. That is where it starts. The genesis of addiction is what I call experimental sin. Experimental means, let me just try it. Somebody taking Igbo for the first time, somebody taking cocaine for the first time, somebody sleeping with a woman that is not his wife for the first time, committing premarital sex for the first time. Is experimental. People do it because they just want to know what it feels like. Somebody watching a pornographic movie for the first time. We've all done these things. You must have done it for the first time. It's called experimental sin. You're just trying to experiment. You want to see what it feels like. But it's bad, it's evil, it's not good for you. You just want to test it. So that's the genesis of addiction. And most times, majority of persons that have tested it, they've not stopped. So if you're watching this video and you've not tested some things, please, it's a warning from me to you. Don't even test, because when you start testing, you get enslaved. It's like looking into a deep pit. While you're trying to look inside, you fall inside the pit. That's how it works. So the best thing, don't even look into the pit. Don't look. So for those that are still virgins, those that are virgins in all areas of addiction. When I mean virgin, you've not tried anything. You're still a virgin when it comes to drugs, illegal drugs. You're a virgin when it comes to pornography. You're a virgin when it comes to fornication, sex, premarital sex, and all that. You've not done any of these things. Make sure you don't even try them. Don't try the game of experimental sin. Don't experiment. Don't. Learn from people that are falling. Don't allow people to learn from your mistakes. You learn from people's mistakes. People have done this mistake, so you learn from them. Don't do those things they did that made them fail. So avoid anything called experiment when it comes to things that are bad. Don't test. Don't experiment. Okay. We move to number 11. The genesis of slavery. The genesis of slavery. Yes. So after experimenting, what happens next is slavery. That's the beginning. Someone that tries masturbation for the first time, you want to do it the second time. You want to do it the third time. And you keep doing it, and at some point you'll be thinking you have control over yourself. You pick a cigarette and you try it the first time. You try it second, you'll be thinking you have control. You'll be doing it. There's a principle of 1, 3, 7, and 21. 1 is you doing it the first time. 3 is you doing it the third time. Then 7, the 7th time. 7th time. Then 21. Anything you can do in 21 days becomes your character, becomes a habit. I'll repeat that statement. Anything you do in 21 days consistently forms your character, forms your habit. So most times it starts with 1, then 3. 1, which is the first day, you tried it for 3 days, you now do it for 7 days. The moment you do it for 21 days, forget it. It has become your habit. It has become your character. You can't stop it at that point. By your strength, you cannot. And this is the beginning of slavery. I told you addiction comes with chains. Yes. It binds anyone that is into it with chains. You become a slave. It will only take the grace of God for you to be free. Most times, even when you try to break the chains, the chains reappear. You'll meet that somewhere in this journey where you rise and fall. Yes, that's how it works. As you're trying to rise, you fall. After falling, you rise again. You try to stop. You think you've stopped, but you keep going back to your vomit. It's one of the phases, one of the things you will go through in your pathway to freedom. So I'll be talking more on that somewhere. Yes, in this video, I'll be talking about that. So now we are talking about this genesis of slavery, and then the plague of self-pity. So I'm done with that. Genesis of slavery. So take note of that. You can rewind the video if you need to get more point on that, or if you need to remind yourself of 1 or 2 things I said. So take note of that. That just it. Rewind and play. That just it. So we move to the plague of self-pity. Yes, plague of self-pity. Some of these points are self-explanatory. Yes. The plague of self-pity. When I mean plague is a sickness. It's like COVID-19, an epidemic. It's like a pandemic, a disease like Ebola. So self-pity becomes a plague. It becomes a sickness. It becomes a disease. You've come to a point where you're now enslaved. You started something, you could not stop it, and you now started having self-pity. At some point you felt guilty. Then from that guilt you moved to self-pity. You knew from the beginning, you knew it's wrong. Whenever you do it, there is this consciousness. Your conscience keeps telling you. Your conscience keeps telling you that what you did is wrong. Because God has put in every man conscience, which will help you recognize what is good and what is bad. So your conscience tells you what you did is bad at that early stage, but you now metamorphosed into a stage of self-pity. So instead of feeling bad,